talk to James Otis Jr. in Barnstable, Massachusetts, and learn some things about him. So I made a poster about all of the things I learned. So first, this is just a picture that I took of him. And so this is my summary about his life. On February 5th, 1725, in Barnstable, Massachusetts, James Otis Sir and Mary Allen had a new son they named James Otis Jr. His sister Mercy Otis Warren, his brothers Joseph Otis and Samuel Allen Otis, his nephew Harrison Gray Otis, and himself became leaders of the Revolution. In 1743, James Otis Jr. graduated from Harvard and rose to the top in the Boston legal profession. Then, in 1755, James Otis Jr. married Ruth Cunningham and had 3 children named James, Elizabeth, and Mary. James died at age 18, and Elizabeth, who was a loyalist, married Captain Brown of the British Army, and Mary married Benjamin Lincoln. Then, on May 23, 1783, James Otis Jr. died. It was very sad because he was only 58 years old and died of lightning. James Otis Jr. was famous because he helped formulate and draft official colonists' complaints that he then sent to the government in England. The phrase, "no taxation without representation," is usually attributed to him. He didn't have any awards, but he had an extremely fortunate education. So then, if you move over here, this is an acrostic poem that I made of his name. So J is James was his father's name also. He was a lawyer and political leader were his jobs. May 23rd was the day of his death. England is the place that he sent colonists' complaints to. Sending colonists' complaints was one of the reasons he was famous. One of his siblings, Mercy Otis Warren, was America's first official playwright, which means she was the first woman to write a play. The phrase, "no taxation without representation," is usually attributed to him. In 1743, he had a very successful education and graduated from Harvard. Sadly, his son James died at age 18. James Otis Jr. was best known for oration against British writs of assistance on February 5th, 1761, which catapulted him into the first ranks of Patriot leaders. Ruth Cunningham was his wife, which he married in 1755. So then, if we come down to my backpack over here, this is a backpack with some things that I borrowed from him. And so I will show you everything that I borrowed from him. So, first, I have some of his speeches that he wrote. I took some of the speeches that he has, and I just wanted to show this for you. And these are important because he was a very good speechwriter, and he publicly spoke at a lot of places. I took a feather pen and ink because he had to write all of his speeches, and that took him a lot of time to do, so he needed a lot of ink and pens. Then I took a little satchel of his that has a little bit of money in it because he married Ruth Cunningham, who was very rich. Then I took one of his envelopes that he uses to send to the government of England because he, as you can tell from the summary, that is one of the reasons he was famous for writing and drafting official colonists' complaints to England. Then I took one of his briefcases because that is what he took to work when he was a lawyer. This is just something that I made. It's a picture of Harvard because that is the college that he graduated to, and that made him have a very good graduation. And then I drew a lightning bolt because that is what he died of, and it kind of represents that was what happened to him. Then, if you look over into my brochure, it says "Come Meet James Otis Jr." on it. And so I obviously used my time traveler and traveled back into time to meet James Otis Jr. So I want you guys to do it with your time traveler. So travel back in time with me and meet James Otis Jr. So all about him. James Otis Jr. was a man who believed in independence. He was a patriot who lived in Barnstable, a big city in Massachusetts. He had a great education and went to Harvard College. In 1775, James married Ruth Cunningham. Then they had 3 children named James, Elizabeth, and their youngest, Mary, who married Benjamin Lincoln. James Otis Jr. was a lawyer and a political leader, and he was famous for helping formulate and draft official colonist complaints, which he then sent to the government in England. Come with me and visit him, and then you can learn even more about him. So, come talk with the man from the past. Come meet, talk, and eat with the man from the past. Ask any question you would like to James Otis Jr. There are good chances that he will be able to answer them. I will take you to Mr. Otis's house, and you will be able to talk with him. Then I will take you and him to a restaurant where you can eat with him and his family. If you would like, you can go on a walk in the park with the Otis family and see the sights that were there in the 1700s. You can also choose an list of activities I will go through, that you would like to do, and then you can do it with James Otis Jr., the man of the past. So there's then a list of activities that I made. I had watch a play with his family, go on a boat ride, take a walk in time, take a walk in town, meet some of James Otis Jr.'s friends, stay at home and just sit on the couch and talk, take a horse ride in a carriage, or go visit the rest of the family. Have some fun. Choose some of these great activities. If the activity is appropriate, then you can think of your own and suggest it to James Otis Jr. So then, over here, I just have some contact information if you want to call me, email me, or follow me on somewhere. So information is call 1-800-437-9265. My email address is emma11@comcast.net. You can follow me on my Twitter account, which is PurpleSmiles101, and my Facebook account is eDubsandFun. So if you want to do some of this stuff, you can contact me. So then this is my medal for him that I made. He was the best speechwriter and public speaker because he wrote some very amazing speeches, and then he spoke them at very important events, such as some continental meetings. Then finally, the last thing that I have here to show you is a letter that he wrote to his daughter Elizabeth. So, dear my beloved daughter Elizabeth, how is it in England? I miss you very dearly. I hope that Captain Leonard Brown is treating you well, because if he isn't, let me know and him and I will have a talk. I know that you are a loyalist, just like your mother, but is the king treating you okay? I hope it isn't too bothersome living by him. Anyway, your mother and I miss you and Mary very much. I hope we can see each other sometime. Your mother is very worried about you. She thinks now that you are living off without your parents, you will get hurt or not make the right choices. But I know that you will always make the right choices, and I think that with the protection of a captain, you will be safe and hopefully not get hurt. I've written to you today not just because I miss you, but also for another reason. I am glad to say that I have just received an award for Best Speechwriter and Public Speaker. They also told me why I had received the award. I actually think that they hadn't planned on telling me that, but they probably saw the look on my face and told me so I wouldn't look like I had no idea what they were talking about. I won the speechwriting award because I wrote several important patriotic pamphlets. I won the public speaking award because I spoke at many social events, such as the Stand Back Congress, which was probably my biggest one. I'm going to tell Mary about this too, but I thought I would tell you first. I hope that you are proud of me because your mother certainly was. I love you and miss you dearly, and so does your mother. Hope to see you and Mary soon. Love your father, James Otis Jr. So this was my poster that I made for him, and I hope you enjoy it. Also, remember, contact me. Thank you.